Hi there, I'm Shane Spiers and welcome to another edition of the Summit Interviews, beaming out to you from the beautiful city of Bath in the UK. My guest today is David Bain. David, a very warm welcome. Great to have you on our show.
Shane, it's good to be with you. I was just watching a previous episode of yours actually with Mark Asquith on it. And one thing, you were talking about Bath at the beginning of the episode, so is it Bath or is it Bath?
Oh, yeah. It depends which part of Bath you come from, I think.
Right.
Yeah, brilliant. For those of you that don't know him, David is an 18-year digital marketing and podcasting veteran. He has designed countless digital marketing courses and published his first podcast in 2006. And you can find him at digitalmarketingradio.com or at David Twain on Twitter. Brilliant. David, the title of our interview today is How to Turn a Podcast into a Book. And we have 5 minutes for the interview. If you're ready, I'll start the clock.
Let's go for it.
So, why start with a podcast?
Well, why start with anything else, really? You have to start with something that you're passionate about and is going to be effective. And for me, it hit both those nails on the head. I'm quite passionate about audio podcasting. I've been doing it for about 12 years or so. So I really do like the medium. You've got to start with something that you love to do. But you've got to start with something that's effective as well and that will get you on the journey to progressing as a content marketer. And I always think it's a bit of a challenge to start with something like live streaming or start with hosting your own online live event straight away because there's so much happening with that. There's so much happening behind the scenes technically. So I believe in a 4-phased approach to go from podcasting to live streaming and running your own event. Would you like me to share those?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So phase one, starting with your own pre-recorded audio podcast. That way you can make all the mistakes you want and you can edit them out afterwards and no one will know any better. So it's not so stressful doing that.
Yeah.
So you're adding in things like jingles and bumpers if you want afterwards.
Right.
Phase two, record it as live. So try to add in your intros, your outros as part of the recording.
Okay.
That way you're becoming a little bit more of a professional producer and you're saving yourself a little bit more time in producing the podcast itself. So maybe do another 20 or so episodes like that. Move on to pre-recorded video.
Yeah.
So you can take something like a Google Hangout and not broadcast it live to everyone, but save the video as you're actually recording it and give yourself an opt-out to change it about a bit if you really think that you've mucked up quite a bit in that video. So it's not quite as stressful to begin with.
Right.
And then, of course, you can move on to your live video, phase 4, after that, doing your live streaming, doing things like mixing different things together while you're live, but also looking at the audience, looking at the comments in the audience to see what people are saying and being able to go from your intended direction to what the audience says, involve them in the conversation, go back to your direction as well, look into the camera, juggle a few plates at the same time.
Right. Wow. And how does that turn into major online event and then into a book?
Well, the nice thing about doing all of that is it kind of trains you up and also builds your contacts to doing that event and then turning it into a book. So I would recommend that someone does about 100 podcast episodes before they become quite proficient at doing things like hosting completely live, involving the audience and mixing up all the technology at the same time as staying engaged with their guest and what they're doing.
Yeah.
But while you're doing that, you're building up your contacts with the people that you interview. And by the time you've interviewed 100 people, then you certainly do have enough people who are going to re-engage with you by participating in an event if you want to put one together.
Right.
And of course, you mentioned book as well. Yeah. And the reason why I like the possibility of turning a live event into a book is books are obviously great. They're authoritative. You can build your own reputation. They're chunky things that you can say you've actually done. Yeah. However, it's tough to write a book.
Yeah.
But why not actually make it slightly easier for yourself by doing things like taking the transcription from a live event and using all your contacts that have helped you put your live event together to help you promote your book. So there are multiple benefits to taking that live event structure and taking the content from that and your contacts from that and using that to make your book a greater success in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. And we've just got a minute to go, Dave. Just kind of coming back, where are you going to get the inspiration for your online events, the sorts of the topics you're discussing, etc.?
Look, I mean, I go back to, in terms of content marketing, stop doing what you think you should be doing and do what resonates with you. And that's what I do. I go in a direction that I want to go in because I'm interested in a particular topic. I find the show structure interesting, and it's easy to build relationships once you've done that in the past and keep on evolving. So in terms of looking for direction, I tend to go in rather than go out. You know, I listen to maybe a couple of other podcasts just now, read a few things, but I produce quite a few live shows now. And because I do so much of that, the act of having to interview people really keeps me on my toes, keeps me learning things as well. So it's funny, since I've really got majorly into running live events, I've possibly studied a little bit less, but maybe you could say I've educated myself by doing that as well.
Right. Brilliant. Sadly, we've come to the end of our time. Folks, for more resources, check out David's website, digitalmarketingradio.com. The URL will be below the video. David, thank you for that. Really insightful.
Thanks, Shane. Great to be on with you.
Thanks for checking out our Summit Scale podcast. If you like what we're doing here, please head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate us and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to learn more about the work we do or are looking for a load of free resources to help with scaling your business, check out our website, www.summitleader.com.